All right.
I want to do a compilation of every time
Okay,
of you going, all right.
We'll do that. I
Unless
promise.
do you edit it out? I haven't
No,
noticed.
that's my signature. That's my go-to. I
Every
always gotta
time.
say, all right. What's up, guys?
Hi guys, what's up? All right, back to episode
25. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. All the cool engagement that we're getting from you guys.
Yeah, there's a lot. We're
Yeah.
seeing a lot of repeat, like
people.
Yeah, which is cool.
We appreciate you guys subscribing and glad you enjoy our content and enjoy listening to us talk.
And if you're not subscribed, subscribe.
I know there was one guy I saw in the last one was like 10 minutes of an intro. What a waste of time and all this stuff. I was like, yeah.
I mean, if you don't like it, it's fine. We get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't really an intro. It was just more us talking.
Yeah.
Which also, I guess we should preface and say, yes, we are reacting to certain videos, but we're also like taking the beginning to talk. Maybe Brian can put like a timestamp to like skip us rambling about nonsense or whatever the heck we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then
I'll figure out how to do that.
Yeah. So
we're learning as we go still too, but
yeah. So, I mean, if you guys want that, if you don't want, I mean, whatever. It can't hurt, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll just throw it in there just for the people who are a little bit more impatient.
Also, we are going to get mic stands eventually. It's not on the top of our priority list right now. We have a lot of other things on our mind too.
I was actually thinking about that.
A few people were saying it.
Yeah. I was thinking about that, and it honestly, like, I feel like I don't know what I would do with my hands.
I'm just kidding.
What?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
How am I going to pretend that I'm talking into an ice cream cone if I have a mic stand?
Honestly, though, it just kind of like, it does help, like, it feels less awkward with me being, like, holding something here. Because I feel like it would feel...
I'm sure we'll get used to it if we have a mic stand. But I do see what you guys are talking about. Like, sometimes I'm, like, almost eating the mic, and then sometimes...
Yeah.
I forget.
Someone in the comments, too, they left a very detailed description of something for us to look into about Iran and the U.S., and I appreciated that, too.
Thank you.
Time. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yes. I feel like there was something else, but whatever. I guess we will get into it since our intros are so long.
I know.
Which they are, but, like, at the same time, I'm like, what? Sorry for talking, okay? Action.
Roll the intro.
Oh, wow, that was cool. Just kidding. We can't hear it at all. Okay. We're going to do a video that is...
So we're jumping back and forth between a few of them. And the one we landed on that we haven't seen yet that we're going to do is called TikTok. What's the Dumbest Thing an American Has Ever Said to You? I'm excited to watch this one. I actually want to see what.
And I want to know in the comments, what is the dumbest thing an American has said to you?
That's true,
or
yeah.
asked you.
If you have a scenario where this happened, you should
I know you guys do. Because I've had my fair of interactions with Americans as well, obviously.
Yeah.
And I know we're not the sharpest tool in the shed. But I've also had interactions with people who weren't American where I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. But it's just funny to see, like, different perspectives. And... yeah. Okay, cool. So I guess this is more TikTok reactions.
Yeah, this is, it is.
Side note, this is really funny because the last one and this one, like, I'm assuming this guy's the guy, like, asking the question.
Yeah, on his TikTok.
So I have never seen this on my For You page, so it's kind of funny.
Why?
It's funny because I've never seen the other girl. I've never seen her or the stitches when I've been on TikTok, and I've never seen this guy either.
I guess it just depends on what you look at on your...
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's the algorithm. Okay, sorry. Go.
The algorithm. All right.
Brian, you said I have to move a little closer to you this time.
All right. We're on, and here we go.
Thing an American has ever said to you.
So let's set the scene. It's early July, and I'm in Marrakesh. I've just checked into this hostel, and I'm sitting on one of these chairs here, by the pool. So this young couple from Georgia sparks up a conversation with me. So the couple invite me up to, like, the roof, this, like, roof patio thing, to see the fireworks. So we end up on the roof terrace here, mingling with various nationalities, and the Americans are asking, like, does anyone know when the fireworks start? Everyone's a bit confused. Anyway, it transpires that it is the 4th of July, American Independence Day. We're in Morocco. There's maybe like 10 of us all trying to explain to this American couple why they probably don't have fireworks for the 4th of July in Marrakesh, Morocco. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Stay tuned for more.
Oh, no, I want to know what else he has to say.
That's hilarious.
I love the receipts. I love how he put all the pictures of like to set the scene. That's pretty fucking funny.
I've actually heard of like multiple scenarios of this happening to Americans when they're in other places of the world.
We're so self-absorbed and consumed in our own culture, whatever our culture is. But granted, they're from Georgia, so Georgia. So
they got that pride.
That's
they got
all I'm gonna say.
that American pride.
Yeah, definitely an area of American pride. But I mean, whatever. That's pretty funny.
It is funny. It's a funny situation.
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna go back home and tell everyone they don't celebrate our Independence Day everywhere.
I speak for I think most Americans that say like if you are from another country and you've had an experience with like a specific type of American, we're not all like that. There's actually a lot of us that are not like that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, like
America's huge, guys.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Yeah. All right.
We haven't even seen
a lot of it. Yeah. We've only been more to like the West Coast, stuff like that.
Yeah, I've only been to as far east I've gone as Tennessee, but that was just because family. But I haven't even gone to the coast on the east side yet.
Crazy story. She had a near-death experience on the way to Tennessee. That's for another day. No, what do you mean?
That's for another day. Get into the video. Let's go.
All right, here we go.
17 minutes long.
I'm curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So I'm from Germany, but I've lived in Switzerland for my entire life until 2015 when my family moved to the US. And I spent 2 years living there, so I've heard a lot of dumb shit, but here's the worst of it. So one time I was with a group of people and I was on the phone with my friend in Germany, and when we hung up, I said, "Good night, sleep well." And this guy is like, so he goes, "Why is she going to bed? It's like 3 p.m. And so I had to explain that because she's in Germany, she's 6 hours ahead because of time zones. And he looks really confused, like, and then he asked me if Germany is 6 hours ahead, why did nobody ever warn them about 9/11 happening? This guy literally thought that time zones meant that you could time travel.
Holy moly.
No way.
I want to know what that guy was on. You know
what? He wasn't on anything.
Okay, I have a confession. When I was a child, I remember thinking, I could not conceptualize that people had a different time than me.
Yeah.
I couldn't even conceptualize people could speak a different language because I was young, okay? So spare me. But yeah, I remember thinking that. But that was a kid, so I can't imagine she's talking to a kid.
No,
because that's understandable if it is a child. That is so...
No, she would have said kid. She said guy.
Yeah, I know. And I also don't think she would have made fun of it if it was a kid. That's so funny.
I remember when I was younger, I did think like when I was really young when I found out about time zones and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, like they're living in the future or the past. And like...
I agree. Especially because like I was saying in Tennessee, my cousins grew up there. And I remember the first season of American Idol. If you don't know what that is, obviously, because it's an American
I'm sure they have.
Think of like, it's like X Factor, but only singing. It's just a singing competition show.
A lot of other countries have similar things.
Yeah, or something Idol. Yeah, whatever. It's that show, the singing show. And in the first season, where they were airing it, and I had a bet with my friend who was going to win. I already knew who I wanted, and she won. But I was like, hey, let me know who wins, since the time zone was like different. Like she was ahead. Because I have a bet with my friend who's going to win. And obviously, like, it wasn't actually live, even though they probably said it was. So, yeah, I don't know. I find that so funny. If a grown man actually...
I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I won $1 from my friend. Because I somehow knew who was going to win. Anyway, that's funny as fuck.
All right. Next one.
I'm of curious. What is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So I was talking to this guy. We had known each other for like 3 months, I think, and we were talking on the phone, and I was talking about my parents, and he was like, oh, by the way, I have a question. How come your parents speak Arabic? I was like, well, it's their native language. And he was like, oh, really? I did not know people in that area spoke Arabic. Thought they only spoke Spanish. And I was like, no. If we were to speak any Western language, it would most likely be French, since we were colonized by the French, not the Spanish. And then he said, oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you, it's not pronounced Algeria, it's pronounced Argentina. I had to explain to him that I came from an actual country called Algeria. And then I said, it's like next to Morocco. And he said, where's Morocco? And I said, well, in North Africa. And then there was a blank, and I said, yes, I am African.
The way he says it. Yes.
Damn.
I think he assumed she was South American because that would make more sense to speak Spanish.
Yeah, it sounds like he assumed she was from Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is South American.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Or am I fucking stupid?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Well, you made it sound like I said some South. Yes, he thought she was from Argentina. Which would make sense, like her speaking Spanish. But yeah, clearly he couldn't understand that she's from the Middle East.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Morocco seems like an interesting area.
It's pretty funny when other people try to tell you about what you already know about yourself and your like culture or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, just so you know, you're not from you're from here. That's so funny. Oh man.
What's the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So my family is originally from Peru. I'm the first one in our family that was raised in the States. And a few years ago, I was talking to a coworker about places where we'd like to live. And I said, I've never really been more than a city kid. Like, I've always been either near or in a city. And she asked me, weren't you born in Peru? And I was like, yes. She goes, wait, I don't understand. Like, how are you in a city in Peru? And I was like, I was born in Lima, the largest city in the country, and one of the largest in South America. And she was like, oh, shoot, so it's like a real city with, like, buildings and stuff? I was like, yes, how did you think I was born? And she goes, well, have you ever seen Emperor's New Groove? I thought you were, like, born in a hut with, like, a llama next to you. That may be the truth for some, but it's not my truth. Her mind was blown when I said we had cities in South America.
I'm kind of curious.
Damn.
That's funny. She said Emperor's New
With a llama in a hut.
Great movie, by the way.
That is a great. If you haven't seen Emperor's New Groove, go watch it. I remember watching that when I was a kid.
I mean, that one doesn't surprise me. Like, the way we portray other countries, at least I remember growing up watching movies or, like, on the news. Yeah. They never show you the civilized areas of other countries. They only show you, like, not only, but, like, for the most part, they only show you, like...
That is kind of true. You know, I never really thought about that, but... If you like are watching the news like in America and other stuff, like only on YouTube when I actually search like what's happening in specific areas of the world, then I'll find like real.
You gotta go out of your way.
You gotta find like neutral channels that actually talk about what's happening. Yeah. But if you watch like the news, they only show like poor conditions in a lot of other places. They don't show like good things that are happening in other places of the world. For the most part,
at least that's what I remember growing up.
I'm trying to think of a time on the news when I saw something from another country that was like a. You know, like a country that you wouldn't expect to hear like, oh, like they have this advancement or they have this like beautiful city or this or that.
I mean, maybe you see like Dubai and all like the cityscapes there. Like that's kind of what I've seen.
But Dubai is known to be like a very wealthy place.
Again, this is just what we are told or, you know, what we've gathered from the little information we received.
Peru also seems pretty awesome. I think Peru is a spot where they have like the mountains that are like different colors.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Beautiful. And I know we're gonna get roasted. Someone's gonna be like, that's called blah blah blah, and we're gonna be like, you're right,
I forgot the name of it. Yeah,
we don't know, we're just dumb Americans.
No, I think Americans are like taught way more specifically about
ourselves
than a lot of other things.
Yeah, I 100%.
Because I don't remember if they taught world geography when we were like in high school and stuff.
I learned about the continents as a whole. I didn't learn about
history
countries
of each one. Yeah,
that were
well,
in the
I'm sure most other countries too, their high schools don't like go into depth to about other countries a lot.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe
You guys
not.
let us know. Yeah. Because we definitely didn't.
Not us.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
Thing an American has ever said to you.
But I'm gonna do this video in English because it's so hilarious and I just want people to know. Because ironically, not many Americans know this. So I went to high school in Florida. When I first got there, I'm Latina, Hispanic. I don't remember if I was in a classroom or at lunch. I think it was before the class started in a classroom. And to some people, even though my English can be okay, gringos can tell I'm a foreigner. So this white girl that was in front of me, she heard me talking to somebody and she asked where I was from. So I said, oh, I'm from Puerto Rico. And then she went, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Why? It must have been so harsh for you to get here as an immigrant. Not the colonizer not knowing they colonized me. No, I mean U.S. citizen since 1917 because Puerto Rico was invaded by the U.S. in 1898. But Puerto Rico is not in America. Diablo, que tipa más bestia, holy shit.
You know what? I would not be surprised
funny,
at how many Americans probably don't know Puerto Rico is part of America. I would not be surprised at that because of how little we actually help them when they need help.
I mean, are we?
Our government
They need
doesn't.
us right
they
now.
barely help us. They barely help them.
Yeah, they kind of are just like
They just throw them under the rug.
They like give them a pat on the back. They're like,
yeah,
good job, guys.
yeah. It's sad. It's crazy.
Let us know when you got it figured out.
It's like we went over to take this place to be part of America, and then we just were like, nah, you know what? We don't want it anymore. Like we don't
Right.
even help them.
For what though? Just to like say we
I don't know.
colonized, just to say that's under our belt. It is kind of weird.
Ay, Dios mío. Just kidding.
That's funny if she didn't know that. I feel like most people know that.
At
At least in America, I feel like.
I feel like a lot of Americans probably wouldn't know that.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's
don't-
yeah.
That's a tough one because I don't think I've ever met. But then again, it doesn't come up in conversation that
Yeah,
often.
it's not a very common
It's just-
conversation.
I just assumed everyone knew. But
Yeah,
okay.
she was funny though.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. All right, continue.
I'm kind of curious. What is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
All right, so I was in Pennsylvania, right, on a vacation.
The pause.
And we were visiting this Amish house with a guided tour and stuff. And at the end there was a little question round where we could all ask questions to the guide. And someone asks the question, do the Amish go to hospitals? And the guide answers, yes, they do go to hospitals. And then the next question is, how do they afford it? Well, yeah, the leader or whatever, I don't remember exactly, goes around 2 times a year to collect money from everyone. They pool that together, and when someone needs to go to the hospital, they take the money from that pool. And everyone taking the tour was standing there like, oh my God, that's so great. Yeah, it's perfect. So I say, well, that's basically how it works in Europe. You pay your taxes. Everyone pays their taxes. And if you need to go to the hospital, they take from that money and use it to pay the hospital. Which the guide looks extremely disgusted and she replies with, that's socialism.
God.
I was waiting for that. That is 100% something an American would say, especially if they lean a little more on the
Conservative side.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's because it's been pushed into our heads to think that way. Because it's just we're not used to any other way.
I can get used to any other way real quick. Trust me.
No, I mean I'm saying like if we haven't like
people assume that if you are contributing for anyone else other than yourself or your family, that you're being like robbed or you're being stripped
or like
of
why
some
should I
type-
give something of mine to help
but it's
someone
like
else?
you're already contributing to so many other things that you're not even aware of in your taxes.
Yeah.
Why not put that into a pool
To
that's going
things
to
you are aware of.
benefit your community and people?
Yeah,
people,
I know. I mean,
you
we've
know?
mentioned this many times before.
Yeah.
We just
You guys know where we stand on this. But I will say if you say something of those lines to a conservative, immediately, if it helps anyone but yourself, they're like, that's socialism.
Yeah.
It's so
which is
funny.
like evil.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're all supposed to be contributing
To each other.
in one way or another, but I guess not. I don't know. It's super like a scarcity mindset. Like, you know,
Yeah.
if it's helping anyone but me, it's coming out of my pocket.
When in reality, over here, even if you have a good job, you're still dishing out like probably $400 a month, or $200 to $400 a month for premiums.
200.
And then on top of that, you have taxes that are still high going to things that we don't even know what they're going to.
Right.
So,
they say what they're going to, but
I don't know.
who fucking knows, honestly.
Right. Let's continue.
Curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So I check into a hotel in Boston, and he asks to see my ID. So I give it to him, and he notices I'm from Toronto. And he says, a lot of you Canadians come all the way down here. And I see a lot of people from Ontario. Is Ontario near Toronto? And I go, well, actually, Toronto's in Ontario. And he goes, really? Huh. Boy, your country's bigger than I thought it was. And I said, well, actually, land-wise, Canada is the second biggest country in the world. And he goes, Canada? No. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you can look it up. He's like, no. I go, well, what did you think the second biggest country land-wise in the world was? And he goes, I don't know. Africa? And I go, Africa is a continent. And he goes, well, yeah, if you put it that way.
Well, yeah, if you put it that way.
You know, I've seen like a bunch of these videos about like they interview random people on the street, and it's like how dumb they are. They don't know this, but they don't know that, continents and all
Like
this stuff.
Facts. Yeah.
I don't know. Either I give people too much credit, or I just think that those are like most of those videos are just set up, or like they don't.
Or they choose the idiots, and they're like,
yeah,
we're gonna showcase this.
I would have to think there was way more than not people who actually answered things correctly and knew that certain things are continents and countries.
Something like that to me comes down to our education system, because like I was saying earlier, we are taught continents, but I don't remember a teacher ever actually telling us like Africa is not a country as a whole. It is solely a continent with country. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I wasn't paying much attention. I mean, to me, I feel like it was just something that people just understood. Yeah. It wasn't really like taught. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Like we all just kind of understood, okay, well, if there's countries in it, then it's probably not just like a country itself like that. But,
I think there was a lot of things that outside of the U.S. that they didn't go into in depth into like teaching us. But again,
but I mean, you're a grown man. You shouldn't. That's on you at that point. You should know.
Yeah.
That's so funny though.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people also just don't care to learn stuff outside of their own
bubble.
And I'm sure that's all over the world. I'm sure it's not only in America.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
It's funny. I always heard that saying growing up, and it becomes.
You see it more and more.
Way more as an adult. You're like, I get it.
Yeah.
You're right. It is.
I'm curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So I went to Florida. We hopped on a cruise, and I met this kid from Florida while we were on the cruise, and like we became friends kind of. At one of the stops, we hopped off. We're walking down a street. I look at the houses, and I was like, dude, these are the weirdest and biggest igloos I've ever seen. And he like was baffled. He actually thought that Canadians lived in igloos. He like was like, whoa, you guys live in igloos? Like I knew winter was like the entire year, but I didn't know you guys actually lived in igloos. And I thought that was hilarious because first of all, I thought winter was the entire year, and this kid fully believed me. And then he's like, okay, like, but if you guys live in igloos, then I don't know if this is stupid to ask, but do you guys have pet polar bears? And I stopped and was like, yeah, bro, like, how do you think we get around when the snow's too deep for the cars? And he's like, dude, like, that's so cool. Like, wow, I gotta visit Canada someday. I'd like to apologize to this kid who...
I'm curious, what is...
He genuinely thought that they got around on polar bears.
That is the funniest. That is so funny.
And that they lived in igloos.
But you know what? I don't know. You've met people like that who literally will believe anything you say almost, right? They won't even question it. If they don't know better, they won't fight you on it.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite people because they live in a bubble that I wish I was that like accepting of what people told me. You know what I mean?
Like gullible.
Because you know what? I would rather hang around someone that dumb than hang around someone who fights anything I say without facts back. You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying?
I do,
There's
but
always
I don't
that
know.
one Chad who's like, you know what? No, like the guy who was trying to tell the girl what country her family's from.
Yeah, I know.
Like, shut up, you don't know. At least this guy's like, I don't know better, so I'm just gonna believe what you say.
Yeah, I guess there is a sense of
it is funny.
willing to learn. I guess, yeah, in a way.
I've met people like that, and I'm like, oh, how do you dress yourself in the morning?
That's
so funny.
Yeah, I would still Nah, I don't know.
The polar bears. Those are like the people who think in the Middle East you take camels places.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people.
Like to school. They're like, oh, do you ride a camel to school?
What's funny though is because like I grew up in a very small town. I grew up in a town where it was like either Hispanic or white, and there was way more Hispanic than white. So when I first moved to
I remember you saying this.
Like before I moved to LA, I'd never met like Middle Eastern. I'd never met like certain ethnicities, and I'm just like, wow. And I met all of them over here, and I'm like, wow, the world is such like, it's crazy how many ethnicities there are.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not my fault. I wasn't around them, and it's just wild. Like when you get outside of that and you see everything else, you're like, wow. It's like there's so much more to
especially
than what
if you travel. And I know.
Yeah, and I could see how someone like that, maybe he never really experienced anything different, didn't know anything, and he's like, oh,
that's funny.
Yeah, it is.
Polar bear to school. Polar bear.
That'd be pretty awesome.
That's funny.
All right, continue.
The dumbest thing an American has ever said to you.
Okay. I was a flight attendant for a very British airline for about 4 years. So, if you're ready, here goes. So, I was on a flight out of the Maldives. I've just had a lovely 7-day trip there. And 5 hours into the flight, halfway across the Atlantic, I'm getting this call bell, constantly dinging. So I went down. And there was a woman, very cross, American woman, arms folded, sitting there in bed. I said, "Is everything okay, madam? Can I get you something?" She replied, "I am absolutely disgusted that I am having my flight with that noise out there." I went, "What noise?" She said, "Out there." I went, "Oh, the engines?" She went, "Turn them off. I'm trying to sleep." Idiot.
I'm coming.
His accent. Him trying to sound like...
I can't. I'm
Sometimes
sorry. I'm sorry for the rest of American people.
We're just apologizing on behalf of
no
all
way
Americans.
though. Like, I just can't think that someone would actually have the audacity to
anyone that's worked in customer
like
service, you know, there are people like that.
Well, I used to be a waiter, and I remember I dealt with some people that were like, whoa, like Jesus, you had a bad day, so you're taking it out on us.
I mean, yeah, that I've also met people in the service industry where you could just tell it's part of their character. That's like,
yeah, but that's crazy. Can you really like? You just have to complain about something, huh? It's what's making you get to the other destination.
Literally.
How can you turn it off?
No, she wants him to turn it down, babe, not off. Okay, let's be.
He said off.
Oh.
Yeah, she said off. That's what he said, and I'm like. I'd be like, "Do you want to die?" Like, is that what you want to do?
Be like, "Okay, sign this waiver. Everyone's life's in your hands now."
Yeah. That's like when they ask you to sit by the emergency exit, and you're like, "I can't do it." You're like, "Yeah, like if things were to go down, I wouldn't be able to do it."
You know what? As much as I would say that, I think that my ass, I would be like, "Let's go, guys."
No, I know.
Team.
I'm kidding. I like to think I would too, but it's from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh yeah.
When they ask Larry, and Larry's like, "I don't want this."
No.
He's like, "No, I don't want this pressure." He's like, "No." But I have seen a few other like instances of people talking. They're foreign, and they have bad experiences with Americans on planes.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Man, we really love to complain about shit. Let us know in the other countries if it's like. You guys have your versions of Karen and I forgot the guy name of it.
What is the T? I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Anyway.
I'm curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
Bet, I got you. Hey man, where are you from again? Oh, I'm from Bosnia. Bosnia? So what, you speak Bosnia? No, I speak Bosnian. Whatever, dude, same thing. What, you speak America? Dude, relax, it was just a mistake. Alright, whatever. So what type of religions do you got over there? Oh, we have like Islam and Christianity. Oh, so you're like Islam? I'm Muslim or Islamic, yeah. Oh, what's that? Get this. Muslims are the people of Islam. Oh, my bad, man, I didn't know. But it must suck not to eat pork, right? I really don't care. Oh, have you read the Bible? Nah, I already told you I'm Islamic. Uneducated. What? What?
I'm coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting one. I actually did know this one. I worked with this one Bosnian guy. He was interesting. I really don't know too much about Bosnia and the history of Bosnia, but He was a tough dude. He was a tough guy. Like, you could tell, like, that he reminded me of, like, Armenian, kind of. I know that they're not, like, related or whatever, but he just, the way that they're very tough people.
Yeah.
Like, they're very, like, cold, and they're, like not that he was a dick.
They just seem like they've seen some shit.
Yeah, like Armenians I know have gone through a lot of stuff, because I know a little bit more about their history and stuff.
And they are again right now.
But I'm not going to speak on Bosnians or Bosnia, because I really don't know anything about them.
No, I know, but, like, just given what the conversation he was saying, it's like, you can be, like, unaware of something, and that's fine, but don't be ignorant when somebody's trying to
explain it to you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I could see how, like, Americans would be confused with, like, religions of, like, the Middle East and other stuff like that.
How do you know that Muslims don't eat pork, but you don't know that they don't read the Bible? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's just, like, weird. Oh, you don't read the Bible, bro?
Uneducated.
Honey, why are you reading? Never mind, I'm gonna shut up.
All right, let's continue.
Like, what?
Back in college, I was working as a technical support representative in one of the biggest telcos in the US. One time, I had this very angry customer because she's been transferred from one line to another. That's why she's very enraged. But I managed to calm her down when I promised to do my best to solve her problem because she's now on the right line. While I am rebooting all of her system, including her internet, she asked, "Am I talking to a monkey from the Philippines?" Then I was like, what do you mean by that? Of course, I have to pretend I don't know what she meant. And she answered, never mind. You can't even grow apples there. And I was like, you know what, ma'am? I wanted to tell you something. You know, in the Philippines, we are producing one of the sweetest banana in the world. And we're shipping it to the US. You know why? She asked why. Because in the Philippines, only monkeys eat bananas. That's why we're shipping it there.
I'm kind of curious. What is the dumb...
That's pretty funny.
That is.
Go you, whoever said that.
I know.
Fuck that lady. Honestly, like, the audacity to treat people like shit that
so
are trying
rude.
to help you. Like
Like,
where do you get off thinking that that's okay?
Yeah, like, even if I'm frustrated and I'm on a call with, like, something that I need to fix and I'm frustrated, I really tried not to, like. It's really hard for me to get upset at someone if they're helping me.
Like, no, I'm kidding.
it is, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's such a sense of entitlement when you, and it's so easy to get upset at the people who are, like, trying to help you or, like, servicing you.
Yeah, I mean, getting upset, that's another topic. You calling someone a monkey?
Yeah, it's
like,
fucking rude.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
You have something in your eye. That irritates me. Like, you don't know this person. They have done nothing wrong to you, and you're gonna actively insult them.
I think people forget that, a lot of times you're dealing with another human being.
Right.
They think of them as, like, just like a disposable. Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's continue.
Good for him.
What is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
Well, I am from northern Mexico, and 2 years ago I was on the beach. I was talking to an American.
What?
He was at the beach.
Oh.
Fucking Linda. That one was a little hard to understand.
Sorry. I thought he said the B word.
He's from northern Mexico. That's kind of like where I was born in South Texas, which is right there in northern Mexico.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I wonder where he's from.
American, and he thought I was British. I think it was because of my accent. So I asked him what he thinks about Mexicans, and he said something like this. Well, Mexicans don't prosper because they are dark, short, ugly, eat beans every day, and they have no education.
Damn, Jesus.
So they have to go to my country. And then I said, what? Are you mental? I am Mexican, bro. There's nothing wrong with being dark. And yeah, I like beans, but today I had lobster for dinner. And I am about 4 inches taller than you. And by the way, I think I am more handsome than you.
Honestly,
oh man,
yeah, it's like, if I were to tell people that I'm Mexican, they wouldn't believe me either. Like, a lot of times they would think I'm just like a white boy or something.
Yeah, I mean, it shows how ignorant people are. People don't care to.
It's crazy because I had friends from, like, Monterrey and other places in Mexico, and they look like blonde hair, blue eyes, and stuff. And I'm like, and they're Mexican people.
Yeah.
But it obviously, people.
I think people have the stereotype based off like people who come to settle here from Mexico, and and you honestly you see comedy specials, you see stupid like
you know what
movies, and they portray certain ethnicities in a certain way, and people just don't care to like think for themselves, like critically think for a second. Okay, does every person of any culture all look the same to you?
Yeah.
No, they don't. Like, not every Italian looks the same to me. Sometimes you can spot someone out, and then you can be like, okay, that person's definitely from here, or that person's from here.
The thing I think
you can't just put a blanket statement over a whole culture. That's fucking weird.
But what I think that people forget is that I think they group people from like South American countries like Latin America and other places like
they say you're from Mexico.
Yeah, and they just say like they just think they're Mexican when they're from like Guatemala or Ecuador or like
there
Peru.
Are idiots here that think
and they don't take those different places into consideration, that they're not Mexican or they're just because they look a certain way. And
if someone isn't of the culture that you say they are, they will let you know. They will be like, that's not where I'm from.
Yeah, she's worked in the kitchen with like a lot certain
of Hispanic
people,
men.
And like if they're from like Guatemala, Ecuador, or something, they'll like make it a point. Like, no,
I've seen arguments based off
that they try to group them into like one thing.
And I'm like, honestly, they get mad. They're very protective of their culture. So
which is there's nothing. There's nothing wrong with it.
But it is stupid for some fucking random.
Yeah, I know. It's funny though because I actually like where I grew up in South Texas, which is like right above northern Mexico.
You've said it like 3.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's funny.
And a lot of the people that I grew up with and know, they look like him. Like that's how they look. They don't look like what most people would say. Oh, like he looks Mexican.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
I feel like most Hispanic countries have a lot of light-skinned people that,
Yeah.
And for you to just be like, they're all short and they all look like
Like I bet a lot of people, a lot of people would think when they see like Spaniards or Argentinians, other stuff like that, they would look at them and they would be like, what? Like you're Hispanic or you're from like a Latin American country?
Oh yeah. To be fair though, his accent sounded British.
There were little parts of it that did, yeah.
I was like,
none of the people I grew up with talk like that.
Also, did I miss something in the beginning? Like, did he say, is he still living in Mexico or is he from there and he moved somewhere?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, I would never in a million. He looks definitely like he could be Hispanic, but he doesn't sound like he is from Mexico. He doesn't, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was weird. Anyway, I think the rest of the video was just this. In previous videos, it looks like.
Yeah. So we thought it was like a 17-minute video, but it's actually 11 minutes. But yeah, that was a good one. That one was pretty funny, guys. Let us know in the comments like any other specific ones you want us to do reaction to or talk about. Again, we appreciate all of y'all, giving us subscribing.
Giving us subscribing, guys. Give us that.
I'm sorry, that's when like my words come out faster than I can put them together in my head.
Yeah, no, I feel
no, thank you all for the for subscribing and liking and engaging. And we are getting back to all the comments.
Well, we've read pretty much all of them.
We just take we take time to.
If there's a heart
reply.
on it, we've read it.
Yeah.
Or if there's a response, we've read it. I feel like there was something I wanted to respond to too, but then I forgot. So maybe
we'll go back through. We did the second to last one. Now we just need to do the last one.
Yes.
Yeah. But all right. Thank you guys for dropping into
to the
Loners Hub.
I hope this was somewhat entertaining, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And Brian's family is in town when this video comes out, so we're gonna be hanging with his family for a few days.
That's right.
And
my uncle and
aunt and mom and
grandpa.
Grandfather, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, someone actually mentioned to do a video about like
America's involvement in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting one actually, because I would like to learn more about that and also just to talk about it. But all right. See you guys on the flip side.
Thank you for watching. Again, have a beautiful weekend, and hopefully this was entertaining.
Peace.